Welcome back. Lesson number 4, transfers and exits. In this lesson, we'll dissect the restrictions and strategies put into place for transfer and exits. Let's get started. You've probably heard about joint ventures that fell apart before they even really got off the ground. You also probably know of some that had been around for years until one or both of the parties involved wanted out. Without a solid transfer or exit strategy, the dissolutions of those joint ventures would be complicated, messy, and extremely expensive. Like many things in life, even the best laid plan for a joint venture does not always pan out. Like many things in life, even the best laid plan for a joint venture does not always pan out. Even if a joint venture is not limited in duration, things still change, so an exit strategy is vital from the start. If only one party is leaving the joint venture for a short period, they're not allowed to transfer their interest in the joint venture to a third party. This is to protect the remaining party or parties by giving them time to build a relationship with the new party. It varies from joint venture to another one, but in general, there are a few common exit strategies. Let's discuss this now in details. So the first two options you probably already know and are very straightforward. So the parties can either choose to sell the entirety of the joint venture to a third party or terminate the joint venture agreement. Another option is the private sale of a party's interest. In this case, two questions must be answered. Question number 1 is, can the parties sell just a portion of their interest or must they sell all of it? And question number 2, is the third party sale subject to the right of first refusal, the right of first offer, a tag-along right, or drag-along rights? The next option is an initial public offering, so-called IPO, with possible future sales in the public market. In this case, the other party might be able to prevent it by buying the first party's interest in the joint venture. Another strategy is a buy-sell agreement. In this agreement, each party sets the price they will accept as a seller of their interest in the joint venture or as a buyer of the other party's interest. Buy-sell agreements don't always work out in the way you might assume, with one party buying out the other at the agreed-upon price. Sometimes both parties want to sell, and when this happens, they sell the joint venture to a third party via an auction that starts at the lowest possible asking price. Other times, both parties want to buy, so they also have an auction. This one between themselves to determine who is the highest bidder. When it comes to buy-sell agreements, being a credible buyer who can assign the right to buy or pay the purchase price over a specified time period is essential. The two final strategies we'll talk about today are a call right and a put right. These two are opposite rights. A call right is the right of one party to buy the interest of another involved party or of the joint venture itself. A put right, on the other hand, is the right of a party to sell their own interest to another involved party or of the joint venture itself. For buy-sell agreements, as well as call and put rights, the price of the interest being sold can be determined in a few different ways. The chosen method of valuation will generally depend on certain characteristics of the joint venture itself. And these methods include the price proposed by one or both parties involved, the public market trading value, or the joint venture value if sold in an arm's length private transaction. It can also be determined through discounted cash flow, the book value of net assets, liquidation value, and historical and projected earnings. But what is the fair market value? The valuations themselves can be completed in several ways. They can be done by an independent expert or the parties themselves if they are in a dispute resolution procedure. They can also be done via pendulum arbitration, often referred to as baseball arbitration, which is when both parties propose values and the arbitrator chooses one of each. If agreed upon by both parties, if the party in control of the joint venture changes from one party to another, the new party in control might have additional rights based on the initial joint venture agreement. The parties in some joint ventures also place limits on the right to purchase shares from each other or try to influence each other or the joint venture in any way. Once the parties involved in the joint venture have designed their exit strategies, they then need to specify what the triggering events will be for each strategy. And these triggering events might include accomplishing or missing a predetermined milestone, the passing of a specified period of time, or other events that may occur. Saying that, we are now at the end of this course. As I've said before, we've covered a lot of information in this course. So don't expect yourself to remember everything off the top of your head. Give yourself a few days, then come back to the material with fresh eyes. So if there is anything you cannot remember or need a refresher on, this course is always here for you, so you can double-check the questions you might have. I hope you enjoyed the learning about the joint ventures as much we enjoyed diving into details with you together. So if you are interested in learning the details about other aspects of the regulations and law systems, make sure you check out our other courses, and I will see you there. Thank you.